Alright, I'm just going to do a basic little synopsis of the channel. My name's Shank. We're going to do some guitar-based songs. Basically, I have 3 albums for you. Inspirational, very old material, theme and style, material collected over, well, a long period of time. And then the different steps material, which is, well, something I've done over the last 3 years that deals with more straight keys and all the altered versions we can do of straight keys. But very exploratory material. That one and theme and style are both going to be a lot of fun. Alright. Basically, our overview of our terms and goals and what I'd like you to know before you come to this channel. What I feel you need to know in order to keep up with what we're going to be doing. And expert guitar players, you probably don't even need to watch this video. You'll be able to keep up with all of this. But for the beginners, please learn the keys. And this is going to be big on theory. So please learn your keys. Please learn the circle of fifths and the circle of fourths. Learn how to move through them. Learn how to properly alter a key. For example, moving to a minor key. Please familiarize yourself with basic chords and drop D tuning. I will get into some of those chords with you, probably even in the end of this video if we have time. So please familiarize yourself with proper chords in drop D tuning. We probably do about 6 songs in E standard. The rest of it's gonna be in drop D tuning. We have just under 50 songs to go through. A lot of those are long. I don't think we're doing any long ones in E standard. Alrighty. Timing. We're gonna work on timing. You'll be able to spot 3, 4, 4, 4, and all the different things you can do with 3, 4, and 4, 4 before this is all over. We don't use too many 8th note timings. We like 1 and 2 and. We don't like 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. If I was writing a suspense medley, yes, but I'm not. So we try to find things that are catchy, that have interesting theory to them. We use a lot of 3/4. We don't use 8 note. I don't do it. I got a couple pieces in 5/4. 2 different things that I do in 5/4. One of them ain't even really 5/4. It's really 2/4, 2/4 and 3/4. But we get to all that when we get to it. But yeah, we're gonna work on spotting different timings and how to recognize how to. Maybe it seems like it's not being done on a 4, but it is. How to spot all that. We got a lot of interesting patterns. We'll be doing a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, familiarize yourself with timing the best you can. Try to know that that's something that we're going to be working on. Next up is root, harmony, and melody, or bass, harmony, and melody. And now that can mean a couple different things, of course. Whenever you have, let's say, classical group, classical performers, of course you have the bass line playing the low end. You got the harmony that's playing the underlying theme that complements the bass and goes with whatever melody, which is the lead instrument. Well, root, harmony, and melody are also references to your 1, 3, and 5 positions. Your 1 position being the root, your 5 position being the harmony, and your 3 position being the melody. And well, you can take, let's say, a major C key and run that as a root, and have a standard 5G key application applied to the harmony, while the melody's running something totally foreign, like a D minor key or an A minor key. And you just explore, try different things. You never know what might work. And it's just something, it's something a rhythm guitarist can do to create interesting sounds that you just don't hear every day. And that's just one of the tricks for altering. Next up, we're going to learn not just alts, but also chromatics and return notes. Chromatics are connective notes, and return notes is when you start in key, flip out a key real quick, and flip back into key before anybody really even notices. You notice it just sounds, it's a quick catch that you can use. When applicable, when appropriate. You have to find the appropriate times to use these. This is one of the next things I'm going to talk about is rules. Rules and application. You have to use your alts, your chromatics, your return notes, all these techniques. They have to be used at the proper time, or it's not going to sound good. You know you're doing something right because it sounds good. That's the main goal to every songwriter, is just producing things that sound good. Heck, most times I don't know why it sounds good when I'm writing it. It sounds good, then I'll memorize it and I'll keep it and I'll figure out exactly why it sounds good as I'm working through it and as I'm adding to it and as I'm developing it. That's just kind of how it works. You go after what sounds good and then you go, ooh, that was awesome. Then you try to understand it. You always have an idea of what you're doing, but whenever you fall into something nifty, there's a reason it sounds good. Sometimes you just got to figure out what that reason is and have the ability to figure out what that reason is. And we're going to be going over some theory in depth, so the way I think of things is theory plus application equals technique. So just know whenever I'm talking about theory, I'm talking about all the keys, all the scales, the way things apply, the way things work on paper. And whenever I'm talking about application, I'm talking about how we apply that theory. And in the end, we get our technique out of that. That's how I'll be wording it, just so you know. Again, with the time signature and count manipulation, we're going to be going over that a lot, but I want to mention that again because I got it written down here again as time signature versus count manipulation. That's important. We're going to be doing these a lot. Key and scale techniques versus actual playing techniques. Again, your theory versus your application, all of which will make our technique. We'll be going over different kinds of key integrations and different ways to alter your keys. We'll get into it deeply in each song as we do them. But you will learn how to alter keys in different ways. You learn moving keys. You learn all sorts of cool techniques as we go through them. We just got to get to the technique being used, and then we'll explain it. No sense in doing anything too early. Again, all songs have rules. All songs can be explained. It's just a matter of shaping your pieces to where they sound the best and applying that technique when it's applicable and proper to do something, to do so whenever you're writing these things. And that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping I can teach you how to not just write in natural C or standard 5 all the time. I mean, there is, or 4/4 all the time. There is plenty of deep and interesting sounds you can pull from out there. It's just a matter of trying different things and discovering what works. And it's all in the theory. It's all in the steps. All right. Next up, we got. We're talking about. We'll get into main transitional parts. We'll explain what those are, which are basically refrains of a type. Get into bridges, interludes, and solos. We'll get into rules and checking off boxes as we build our songs. How I build songs. We'll get into. Let me get this in front of my face later so I can see it. But again, I want you to learn those circles of fifths. Learn the circles of fourths. Learn how to alter the circles of fourths. Learn the difference between an actual key and an actual scale. For instance, you're not gonna be playing out of a D minor 7th key, because a D minor 7th key is a C key. That's just C natural. However, the D minor 7th scale, you be playing out of that a lot. Let's go to. That's the scale. The scale's more for playing. Key's more for writing. And it's just simple way to distinguish between them. You want to know what key you're in whenever you're playing too, but scales are, you're gonna know what you're doing. You're gonna know what scale you're in as you're playing it. With the key, sometimes you have to pick out a little bit of a song before you even know what key it's in. Again, but key integration, chord and scale integration. We'll be going over the difference between the key integration versus scale integration also. I kind of want to leave this at that because I want to get into some of these D-type chords. And that's what I think we're going to go ahead and get into. Okay, I mean, you still gonna be playing your E chord as an E chord, don't you worry. It's just the D type chords we need to get into. I'm gonna start with an A chord, which is an A chord. It's still just an A chord. Keep that out of there, but A chord has an E as a fifth note, so you could actually. Keep your low string muted. Don't do the thumb thing. Don't do the thumb thing. Jimmy Hendrix technique. Alright, A chord's still an A chord, just mute the low note. B chord's still a B chord, just mute the low note. C chord's still a C chord, just mute the low note. D chord has expanded. You now have all of these notes sounding good. I mean, you have a D fifth chord ringing out right there, and you have your 1, 3, and 5 note ringing out right there. You got a full D chord now. Your E chord, you either mute it, mute that low note, or you cover it, one or the other. F chord, don't bar it anymore. You just mute it. Mute the low note. G chord, same thing. Mute the low note, or mute the low note, or mute the high note. Alright, what comes after G? Are we back at A yet? I think we're back at A. I think that pretty much covers everything. Oh wait, no it doesn't, because then we have, that's right, our new power chords. You have a full power chord here. Full thing. You got your high end power chords. Except they start at D now instead of E. And of course you got your ultra high end power chords, which I don't see why we don't call them medium end, but it's how I see it in books, so that's what I call it. But higher end power chords, I don't know. I think we just call those high end and those high end, and it's just both just high end power chords. But yeah, high-end power chords, and what I was doing at the end of there was just creating octaves. And then of course you got your normal power chords, but you're going to be playing them like this now. Those are your normal low-end power chords, except we don't call them low-end power chords, we just call them power chords. Just the standard ones. Alright, bar chords. You knew it was coming. Standard E. Standard A. No, it's not D type, it's C type. So, yeah. Now you can do things like, how does it go? How does that go? Kind of forget. That's the in between. Oh, it's a power chord. Okay, it's a power chord, but okay. This would be the power chord. E flat. Where would it be? I was going a whole step too low. That was my problem. Well, I'm trying to show you it's a C type power chord. So C sharp, D, E flat. Minor, of course. No way. I'm not doing that. That would be so hard. It'd be like, oh, at a lead, I would totally. But there's a reason we have these. Okay, so yeah, your C minor, I wouldn't. I would revert. Revert. I'm going to the A types of the E types, and I mean, I guess you could do a G type power chord. I mean, A type power chord, G type power chord, same thing. So reverting, you're starting on the 3 note instead of the 1 note. There's not a lot else to it. Just know that everything on that low string, you're going to have to start getting used to playing it naturally a whole step higher. Everything's going to be moved a whole step higher. Your E note used to be here, now it's here. Your G note used to be here, now that's an F, and this is a G note. I mean, everything on that lowest string, you're just going to have to be used to it being that half step higher. I am. You throw me back in E standard, everything's weird. I'm used to muting it, so I'm not used to hearing the lowest string ring out in an E chord. I'm not. It's weird. And then, which is actually oxymoronic, because that's the thing that, I mean, I match up the violins well, sure, but that's the thing that whenever they're ringing out, playing a bar chord, they have the low end note ringing out in stereo songs and radio songs. I'm always liking that. The moment that I try to add it back in, I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel right, or I'm not hearing it right. So you get used to the way you play. But I like working at a drop D. I like having that. I like lining up to film and video games and things like that. That I'm investing time picking out whenever I'm working on other people's music rather than my own. Every once in a while, it's still imperative for me to change back to standard tuning, or even change to some other weird tuning to be able to cope with something that just has weird parts to it. It doesn't happen a lot. Most things I can do in standard D or drop D, and most things that you can do in standard D, you can do in drop D. It's not the reverse though, because again, you're getting that whole extra half a step worth of a low note. That half a step extra low note, it counts. It adds to what you're able to do. But okay, we're going to leave this lesson at that. This is the introductory lesson. We're going to start off, whenever it comes to the songs we're going to be doing on this channel, with a song called Stray. It's going to be a simple song. It's going to have, well, actually, out of the two songs we're going to start with, that's the one that's going to have the most interesting theory lesson to go with it. And the first two songs will be lined up together as both the first one with the theory lesson, but both of them will have a very similar timing lesson that we'll get into very soon. I think I'm going to upload 3 to start, so you'll get one funner, more complicated one with 2 others that have simpler songs. Actually, even the tougher song, you don't have one other that has a simpler song with it. So we'll be covering a lot over the next few weeks. Yeah, we're gonna start with the Stray video, and well, hopefully have some fun, do some theory. Feel free to try to pick things out and dive into it before we get to the explanation videos, with anything launched before the explanation videos. And well, I'll see you guys again soon with the Stray explanation video. Goodbye for now.